Oh, hi, I didn't see you there. My name is Bliss Foster. Today is a huge day because we are diving into Martin Margiela's triumphant return through a massive studio art exhibition at the Lafayette Anticipations in Paris. We've seen a few pieces of Martin's studio artwork in the past, but absolutely nothing on this scale. I was fortunate enough to attend the exhibition on press day and get some stellar footage of these pieces. Okay, so we're going to talk about my two favorite pieces up front. The first is called Bus Stop. Put simply, it's a standard bus stop that's been covered in faux fur. This piece is strongly in conversation with the surrealist artist Merit Oppenheim's Fur Breakfast. And this highlights a theme that we can see in Martin's work overall, which is seeing things in a fresh way. Now, I get it. That sounds really trite, right? Like, oh, artists should see things with fresh eyes. But listen, that trait is what makes him so brilliant. The way that most people's brains work is very automatic. Like, for example, this lamp has sat in my childhood bedroom for the vast majority of my life. It has been so much a part of the fabric of my life that the idea of, does this look good, has never even crossed my mind. And that's how most of us move through our daily life. There are literally millions of objects that pass through our peripheries or that are even in our hands or on our own bodies that we're not even really spending any conscious time thinking about. And that's not a bad thing. It would be exhausting to think about every object as we interact with it. But Martin seems to do that at least to a further degree than most people do. And he thinks that bus stops are really beautiful little objects. And I think maybe he's helping us to be able to notice stuff like that more by taking it and covering it in fur. Another standout piece for me was Vanitas, where the stages of life are represented by 5 heads covered completely in hair. These are cleverly done up, so it's impossible to tell which way is the front and which way is the back. The emphasis is drawn away from what hair is meant to frame, the face, and instead that emphasis is put completely on the hair itself. The catalog for the exhibition talks about how this piece feels vaguely hallucinatory, and I think that that's a dead-on reading. Also, with the title Vanitas, it puts this piece in conversation with the tradition of Dutch Vanitas paintings, which were still lifes meant to represent the emptiness of existence, and they often implied death. And I think this does remind us of aging and of death, and it encourages us to accept that gracefully. And just on a much more base level, this is by far the most visually striking piece in the exhibition, at least to me. I absolutely love this one. Let's go a little bit more broad and talk about some major themes because we have some excellent stuff to cover here. Deodorant. This is one of the most defining pieces in the exhibition. Photos of this model of a deodorant stick were the primary way that Lafayette Anticipations promoted this exhibition. What's interesting is that this piece was not present in the exhibition at all. It was only available in the gift shop on a little Lazy Susan, slowly rotating and available for purchase in limited quantities. The deodorant encapsulates a key theme that this exhibition is dealing with. Big theme alert, pay attention, come back in, stop multitasking, let's go, come on. The deodorant is talking about our expectations for our own bodies and the bodies of others as aging starts to set in. We saw this theme run through a number of different pieces, like Scrolling Image, a massive collection of old magazines which as a piece was called Hair Portraits, and also in the multimedia piece that was called Triptych. We're going to focus on Deodorant and Scrolling Image for a little bit because both of them operate in a similar way that kind of opens up the meaning of the rest of this collection. There's a strong sense of removal that Martin does, especially in Scrolling Image. Like, okay, so for example, can we still hear me? What we see here is a billboard that depicts a photograph of a photocopy of a drawing of a square inch of someone's skin. Okay, so art analysis pro tip. If you ask, what is this? And the answer is anything like what I just said, the artist is trying to tell you something. Like, whose body is this? We don't really know. What part of the body is this depicting? We also don't really know that either. But the important thing here, I think, is the sense of removal, this like kind of copy of a copy of a copy. And then when you get down past all of the copies, you're not really even sure what exactly it is that you're looking at. This piece kind of works in the same way, the same mode as the deodorant piece, which we all came to the exhibition expecting to see like, you know, some like piece of deodorant that was like the size of a car, and it wasn't there. The only place that we ever saw it was literally on our way out while we were talking about where we were going to go get coffee, and there it was in the gift shop. Scrolling image is the piece that most kind of leads us to take an interest in the process of what's actually going on here with many of these pieces. Now, for anyone who watches my Margiela series, wherein we explore all of Martin Margiela's work one runway show at a time. It's huge. The series is huge. There's like 23 episodes out right now. We're like just over halfway done. Check out the Margiela series today, please. So in that series, understanding process is a crucial part of understanding Martin's work overall. We've seen dozens of examples where the clothes themselves demonstrate the process of their own creation. And we can see a little bit of that carried over here into his studio artwork, like with this mold that was displayed as its own piece of art. Something that was used in the creation of other pieces of art, that piece of the process gets held up and gets turned into art in of itself. And I don't know, we've never talked about this in the Margiela series before, but I wonder if a piece of that is just kind of taking the artist's life and saying, like, this is what's really important. The work is the thing that is the most fulfilling. It's not having a final product that you can put out and be like, look, it's done, I made this. It's that you're making it. The making of the thing is what is the most fulfilling. And I think as viewers of art, that's sort of what we take the most interest in as well. Like, the final product is so cool, but then when you see something and it's really engaging, or you hear a song and you really, really love it, you want to dig in and you want to learn more about how it got made. And the process for this exhibition was really fascinating. I mean, people who are super obsessed with the work of Martin Margiela, a lot of them knew over the past decade that, Martin, we don't know where he is or what specifically he's doing, but we do know that he is like just working on art. He showed a few pieces briefly at the Kunsthalle Bielefeld in Bielefeld, Germany in 2020. That was his official first art premiere to the public. And in this exhibition, his first solo exhibition for the public, there were references to those pieces in that there were empty spaces on the wall that were marked with the titles of those works, but the works themselves were not present, which is a cool little thing. But the process for this exhibition overall was fascinating because all of these pieces were made at the Lafayette Anticipations. Martin worked in these studio spaces in the basement to bring this entire exhibition to life. The catalog that guides us through the exhibition was designed in-house. And actually, okay, so the catalog itself was designed by Martin in collaboration with Irma Boom, who is one of the most artful, incredible bookmakers currently living. These are all real sticky notes. The book came like this. I don't even understand how that's possible. That must have taken an enormous amount of work. I don't even get it. This thing is so cool. There's actually an interview in here where Martin is interviewed by a 10-year-old child. It's like the most transparent interview that he's ever given. This book is incredible. So anyway, like I said, Martin designed this entire exhibition in the basement of the Lafayette Anticipations. The catalog was designed in-house, and this is super crazy. The space that the exhibition was shown in, that was also designed by Martin. Lafayette Anticipations was designed by the architectural firm that was founded by Rem Koolhaas, the GOAT. I'm way oversimplifying here for the sake of time, but this building is mega unique in that it is transformable. The space itself, like the floors and walls, can be mechanically transformed into 49 different configurations. So the labyrinthine quality of the space was very purposeful. And to add an extra little twist, an extra kickflip to that, everyone attending the exhibition would have to go in through the emergency fire exit stairwell. So you would start on the ground, go through the emergency exit fire stairwell, and then start on the top floor and work your way down through the labyrinth. And at the center of that labyrinth is the single largest piece in the exhibition, titled Monument. It's a trompe-l'oeil piece that covers a massive part of the internal courtyard of the Anticipation. It's inspired by the large coverings of buildings when they're under construction, the ones that are meant to emulate the parts of the building that they're covering, tricking you into thinking that the building is truly permanent, like it doesn't age and it doesn't need repairs. And this conversation about the building reflects the art that it's meant to display. A lot of these are pieces about getting older, the things that we do to keep ourselves looking youthful, clean, and usually by doing things that are kind of unnatural. And when you put all of those things together, they do have this natural cohesion to them, a cohesion that I'm not sure I understand well enough to explain yet. I can't tell if Martin is making a value assessment about these things. I don't think he is. He's not scolding us for dyeing our hair, and he's not telling us that acrylic nails are somehow bad. I think he's just kind of isolating all of those pieces of our lives, the things that we use to augment our body for ourselves and our others, and he's showing them all in one place. This exhibition was absolutely beautiful. I was originally going to go in 2020, but the pandemic made that not possible, so they delayed the opening until just here a few months ago. I do want to thank everybody for supporting the channel, and this is a particularly good time to do that because I wouldn't be able to go and cover things like this if this channel wasn't literally my job. I made a trip a number of months ago to go to Antwerp, Belgium to interview a bunch of different designers about their work and to get footage of the Raft collection and a number of other things. And on the way back, I made a stopover in Paris so that I could go to this exhibition. And the channel's budget is still in a place where that is financially unwise for me to do. But I feel like this is the kind of coverage that you all deserve for this kind of thing. So if there's any enjoyment or value that you're getting out of these videos, I would ask that you support it on Patreon. It starts at just $3 a month. If you can afford it, go for the higher tiers. You get lots of exclusive content, you get extended episodes, you get to join the private Discord, but more than anything, I feel like I am trying to carve out a new path in the coverage of art like what I cover on this channel, but I can't do that by myself. I really have to have the support of people that watch and love this content. So if you can, go join up now. The link is always in my descriptions and it's probably up on the screen right now. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.